The following may contain language that is not suitable for all audiences. It's time for the Low Fat Podcast.
We need a real bell.
Okay, so, yeah.
I'm shaking my head, bro. I cannot believe it.
I can't believe it either, but I couldn't believe the last time. And, I'm not... The reason why I really don't care about stuff that much, because most of the time, when I like something or want something... Well, tell you what. The person I supported for any elected office, especially the high office like presidential office, never won.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
Starting with Herbert Walker Bush.
Wait, you supported him or you didn't support him?
The first time?
Yeah.
No.
And then you supported him the second time and then he lost?
Yes. And
wow.
then I supported Al Gore and he lost.
You supported Gore?
Yeah.
Really?
And so
that's crazy.
So in 2000, I quit.
That surprises me.
Why?
I don't know.
Hey, look,
Al Gore's a Democrat.
Well, I used to lean pretty heavily on the Democratic camp. I went to a very very liberal artsy type university. I got a very traditional liberal arts degree. Well, my degree isn't liberal arts, but my education is very liberal artsy. I mean, I did have to take all the math and stuff.
Yeah, but you got the true liberal arts education.
Right. So all the other classes that I took.
I don't know what you call it now. Like a lot of the liberal art degrees aren't liberal arts degrees.
Right, but I've got a degree in economics, and I double majored, so I technically have bachelor's degrees in economics and political science. But on top of that, I also studied Roman Republic, lots of history, lots of stuff. And I think people find it very odd that I sit there and go off on communists. It's not the ideology that I have objections to. It's that
the results.
Well, no, it's every time it's been tried, it didn't work. So I'm just like, well, maybe it's us
people,
right? Because if you look at it, right, it's supposed to have a society where there is no country.
I don't know what you mean. Like
communist. The communist ideology is there is no country.
How the hell does that work?
Well, if you just want to sit there and mind your own business and do stuff, dude, I would be totally fine just learning all the time.
Right. But
no one's gonna. I can't get anything. Right.
Well, maybe you should have become one of those think tank people.
Again, that's not the same, because if you become a think tank person, then you can't just learn.
Oh, because you're using it for...
Someone wants to use you for something.
Right.
Right?
Well, maybe you should have been an academic then. Again.
An academic what? If, like me, just kind of go to the library and read books?
Well...
How am I going to afford a place to stay? How am I going to eat?
Well, you might have to do some teaching and stuff.
Again, right? So that's... So,
Oh, so you want to literally have, be a trust fund baby that has millions of dollars that can just have the luxury of going and learning?
No, I would be just fine if there was no such thing as money. Right? I would be just fine with that whole Star Trek ideal of, there is no poverty and there is no money, and everybody just kind of does stuff to better themselves and humanity.
So would you call that communism?
It's utopianism, definitely.
Yeah.
But, there's a lot of ideals in communism that I don't agree with. There's no family, there's no country, there's no
religion.
Right? Well, the no religion part, I think, is just is something that's never going to happen.
Communism is anti-religion, though.
Communism is a religion in and of itself.
Right.
See, people don't realize, even the atheists, right? I'm an atheist. That don't mean you don't have a religion. We are so geared towards religion that we will worship something as if it is a god.
Yeah.
Whether that be God or quote unquote science, but the only people that sit there and think that are the people that aren't really scientists. Yeah, that's... kind of like how the current the Pope Francis. Mm-hmm. I'm not even going to go to the arguments that I hear from my Catholic friends about that. But I always thought it was super funny how people who were not Catholic thought that Pope Francis was and is the bee's knees.
Yeah, people who aren't Catholic and lapsed Catholics.
Just like when,
well, I guess that falls under people who aren't Catholics.
Just like when Barack Obama was the president, people in other countries loved him. And I'm sitting there going, he's not the elected president of your country.
Just like people really hate and despise Donald Trump.
Dude. Okay.
You know, in foreign countries.
Do you think that it is possible to have everyone like and respect you?
No, it's impossible.
No. I mean, no. Don't just give me that off the cuff answer, because you don't act like you believe that. I have a hard.
Well, I know the reality is that you can't, but I would want everybody, to like me.
And why is that? Why is that such a hard thing to say?
Because I know what you think about it. I know that you think that that's like a foolish, naive view.
I don't know that foolish. No, naive. Yes.
I mean,
unattainable, most definitely. But why? Again, why would what I think when it's not even negative?
Well, it is negative.
So this is actually kind of a blow by blow. Like, you are attributing all kinds of things to me that don't even exist. You're attributing a position to me that's not even there. I think that's very, very, very unfair from where I sit. And if I like jump out from where I sit and sit in another like observer seat, that's just kind of irrational.
Why?
Why is
it? So you don't think it's naive?
I told you I thought it was naive.
Well, that's a negative, is it not?
Why is being naive negative?
Because naive is like synonymous with stupid. If you're naive, you're that guy who's like just come to town and sort of trusts everybody and thinks everything's good and that the world is a good place, and then you get like fucked over, right, by people because people are essentially flawed and corrupt. Everyone that thinks that doesn't have that happen to them. They're self-interested. There are plenty of people that think that the world's a good place and everything is great that do just fine. Are you sure about that? Yeah. Just as sure as I am about there are people who think that who are think that the world's great and everything's fine get taken advantage of. So you don't like look down on those people? Why would I look down on somebody, man? I got enough problems of my own that they can look down on me for. Now, does that mean I don't want them to look down on me? I really don't care. So I have to amend my previous statement. I've got enough junk going on in my life that I don't have room to worry about, you know. I don't have space to sit there and look down on somebody else for. It's not because I'm some great, you know, open-minded person that I don't look down on people. I just don't have the headspace for it. I don't think it has to do with headspace. There's too much junk going on in my life. I don't think it has to do with headspace. I think it has to do with your frickin' makeup. Okay, and that's your opinion. It's valid. It's just as valid as mine. Yeah, I mean, I think it really I mean, it's a type of person. Okay, so, you know, like I told you. So I'm attributing to you what I do. Okay, I already knew that, and we've already said that, and it's been announced. It's on record now. I'm pissed off though. I mean, I'm so distracted today because I'm freaking pissed. Because the result that you wanted. No, it's not about the result. It's about the fact that, like, I believe that there was a whole lot of, like, shenanigans. Yeah. A whole lot of stuff that went on that's like really, really suspect. You know that happens in every election, right? Well, yeah, you've said that before, but you don't believe me, or? Well, I feel like, okay, so maybe there's like a little bit that goes on, but this just seems like there is the theory that people haven't admitted to until probably about 10 years ago, that President Kennedy's election was essentially stolen by Lyndon Johnson by delivering 2 counties in Texas
And the only reason why he knew to do that was because when Lyndon Johnson was running for the Senate or Congress, or one time he was running for something and he lost. And it was because these two guys in Texas got stolen from him, so he stole it right back to deliver in Texas.
No, I feel like it's like on steroids. Like okay, so maybe there's been some illegal stuff going on in elections for a long time.
Well, probably since the first one.
But I feel like in this year of 2020, I feel like there was a lot of stuff done by, I guess it would be the executive authorities, right? That would be like the governors and the attorney generals. That would be the executive, right?
Well, the flip side of that, though, not to cut you off, but to cut you off.
You know what I'm going to say, right?
No. So I guess you have to say it now.
Well, that they basically capitalized on the emergency powers under coronavirus and wrote a whole lot of laws and made a whole lot of changes to the rules. And essentially, it seems like I don't know, it feels like they stole it.
Well, if they did, then shouldn't the other guys have known it was coming and done what will end on this, which is my favorite joke in the world, which is the joke about Vladimir Putin and Medvedev years ago. So during election, the election where Vladimir Putin was going against Medvedev, one of Vladimir Putin's aides come in and says, "Mr. President, I have good news and bad news. Which do you want to hear first?" So President Putin says, "Give me the bad news." He's like, "Well, Medvedev got 75% of the vote." And Putin like spits out his drink and goes, "What? Hell, what's the good news then?" And his aide says, "You got 76%. So shouldn't that be what they did? If elections are illegitimate, and that's the whole thing.
And it's not even about, like, I'm not pro Trump, but if there was like rampant illegal shit that went on, then I think they need to figure it out. Well,
most definitely, and I think anybody would think that if there was any rampant illegal shit going on, that needs to be found out, because you can't have elections where everybody thinks, or half the people think, it's illegitimate. And that's something that the people on any winning side have got to understand.
No, I'm sure they do understand it, but I don't know if they care.
That could very well be.
But they should care.
And that's also true, right? So the people whose candidate won this time, I don't think they've got a leg to stand on if the people that were on the losing side this time for the next 4 years talk about how it was not my president, the election was rigged, because, for the last 4 years,
that's all they've done.
The Russian collusion apparently was the hotbed topic, and no amount of anything would convince them otherwise.
Ugh.
So this is a binary thing, and it is, elections are either legitimate or they're illegitimate. Period.
Mm-hmm.
And while I think that there's a whole lot of illegitimate stuff going on in pretty much any election, the powers that be, too big to fail, the folks that want stuff to keep going, they've got to ensure that everyone thinks that elections are legitimate. And what's happening right now? I know this is going to go up a little bit later, but right now, as we speak, every news agency, every TV channel, every news agency is sitting there saying this is legitimate.
So true.
So, for those of you who think that your candidate matters, I don't think it does, because every news agency is sitting there saying that this was legitimate, although, 4 years ago, all the news agencies weren't saying that, which is kind of odd. But I don't know. And quite frankly, I don't care. I don't know why you try to keep on roping me into this.
Right. Yeah, I don't know either.
And,
probably because, I'm pissed off about it.
Well, you have every right to be, and now everyone's going to think that you supported the losing candidate.
Well, I didn't particularly.
You didn't? That does it matter?
No, it doesn't matter.
No, I'm saying, does it matter? If the shoe were on the other foot, and somebody was acting a certain way, and you made your own assumption about it,
Right.
and that person's like, oh no, I don't think that. You don't care.
No, I'd be like, man, that guy's full of shit.
Exactly, and that kind of we all do that. We all do that. Anytime someone sits there and says, "Oh, I don't believe in X," or I don't, I'm X. There's a guy that I know is like, "Oh yeah, I'm an independent," but everything he talks about makes him sound like he's not independent. And I don't sit there, and you know what? I don't sit there and think, "Oh, I don't think that guy's independent."
You don't?
No.
See, that's just you.
I just say, well, for a guy who claims to be independent, because there's enough. I mean, we're not all one thing, right? So the people that there might be one issue, right? For some people, it might be racism. For other people, it might be immigration. Or for other people, it might be abortion or whatever, right?
I was thinking that.
I don't think one issue should define anybody. Which leads me to a line in a movie that I love. Terrible movie. Well, actually, it was an okay movie. But the line is, what if you were in charge? Or what if it was up to you to determine the legacy of a bunch of men or of a group of people based on one day? And on that day, they went mad.